This podcast was made as part of Culture Night 2023 in the Podcast Studios, Dublin. To find out more, visit thepodcaststudios.ie today.
Hello everyone, my name is Ian Walsh, I'm from Dublin, Ireland, and welcome to my 5-minute podcast. This has all been made possible by the amazing people at the Podcast Studios during Dublin Ireland's Culture Night 2023, so thank you very much. You can check them out on thepodcaststudios.ie, where you can rent state-of-the-art, fully soundproofed and air-conditioned recording studios in Dublin. With that being said, I feel like a proper podcaster with that little intro, to be honest. I've never done a podcast before, which generally shocks people, as they all say I do have a face for podcasting. My plan is to make this podcast for LinkedIn and kind of advertise myself. As someone who's worked in the games industry for 7+ years, we're currently experiencing a decline in the industry, with a lot of studios laying people off. As of August 2023, I was one of those people. It's been tough getting interviews, let alone finding positions in the industry. The interviews and calls I've received have all been through LinkedIn and connections I've made there, so thank you all very much for your help, who's ever's listening out there. As regarding myself, as mentioned, I've got 7 years formal experience in the games industry, wearing many hats, working as a player support agent and community manager, all the way to even producer and senior product coordinator. One of my many strengths is building as well as collaborative relationships with the teams I work with. Something that I learned to do remotely, working with game directors, QA and engineers. I worked on many games, while 90% of them have been mobile games. I do have a desktop game and a PC MMO, which is a mass multiplayer online game, underneath my belt too. More recently, I've worked on launches of a few mobile titles in my recent role in Wildlife Studios, mostly with the player experience and player support side of things. Creating knowledge bases, creating training for player support, translating FAQs, and even helping with game design and UX design as well, something I'm fairly passionate about too. As recommended by my partner, my volunteer experience as well, I spend my free time organising and hosting official Pokemon video game tournaments in Ireland. I still do it to this day, and I'm hoping to continue this throughout the year. I'm even sure that a fair few people listening to this podcast have been to them, so they can vouch for me how great I am. So feel free to leave a few comments in the chat there, guys. It'd be very much appreciated. To answer a question I hope you've all been asking yourself while listening to this amazing podcast, why me? I presume, like nearly everyone who works in the games industry, that they're extremely passionate about the games as well as the industry itself. You're not going to find someone who shows my level of dedication, unwavering commitment to any task or project I work in. So much so, while looking for work, I'm currently working on a mobile game project myself. Now, to be 100% honest, it's nothing big, but I do dedicate 30 minutes a day to it. And as of recording this podcast, I'm just working on the master document, creating the environment, creating the story, creating how the characters, their kind of backstories and how they interact with each other, but also the general gameplay for it. The plans I have for it, well, nothing major, is nothing set in stone. I want to continue working on this document while I'm continuing looking for work, and hopefully maybe in the near future, maybe get a freelance artist to maybe draw up some character images for the game, maybe have a freelance programmer, maybe even design the first level. Who knows? But it's something that I was convinced to do by my partner, and I'm going to keep doing it until I maybe run out of ideas. Now, that about wraps up my 5-minute podcast. Again, I want to thank the team, thank Dan from the Podcast Studios team for producing this episode, but also setting me up and having an amazing culture night here. I'll be posting this in many places, so if you have any questions or like to have a chat about anything, feel free to PM me on LinkedIn or Twitter. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and thank you very much for listening. And like every project I do, if you have any feedback with how this podcast went, please feel free to let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much and have a fantastic day.